Hi, guys. It's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. Martha. Hi, Martha. So, we have a decision to make in about 1 hour. We can either stop the clip, go to Judge Fleischer for an hour, or it's 2 hours long, or just play the whole clip today. So, you guys can decide in about an hour ish, sort of. Kelly, hi. And Kelly, hi. Hold on. I don't know if they're all here yet, but hi, Terry, Terry, and Terry. Did I get them all? Okay. We're going to start, though. Fozzie found something in Judge Simpson's courtroom today that we're going to start with. I love Judge Simpson. I really do. Let's go there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, do you want to hear some really great news first? I have 3 children. 2 of them have already turned 21. 2 of them never go drinking with me, ever. Guess what? My son turned 21 about almost 5 hours ago. Oh, yeah. Finally. I bet you he's going to go out with me. I bet you. I just know it. This one's going to do it. This one's going to make his mom proud.
Yeah.
Do you want anything else? Drink.
Well, yeah, I mean, President is very cool.
You just confused everybody, Fozzie. All of them.
Court calls case People versus Jermaine. Is it Sean Giles? Sorry to wake you.
Assistant Public Defender Chinazaki Kerry Akinruli, Your Honor, on behalf of,
Siri, we're gonna have to wait on you.
I picked the wrong person, right?
Yeah, you did.
I am not.
This whole team effort here is the
It's
wrong
not
people.
working. I did receive a message, Your Honor, from 15th District Court indicating that Jermaine Jean Giles had appeared there bright and early this morning, thinking that their court date was scheduled for there. I was told that they sent him over here, but he does not have a telephone. I was unable to reach him previously. And he didn't have a phone to call, but they said that they sent him on his way. Fortunately, he's not here yet, but I would ask for an adjournment. And when he does reach here, I can let him know the date that the court set.
That was 15th District Court that let you know that?
I received an email this morning. That was the wrong person. Your Honor, I apologize. I do not have an explanation for Mr. Jean Giles's.
Seriously? Seriously, that whole thing wasn't about this person?
Just remember it because it's gonna come again. I apologize, here. That's why I had to double check, and it's not. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I don't have an explanation for what. I'll just give you this is the one, and so. We'll still ask for.
Yeah, you get things mixed up when you're woken out of a dead sleep. Bench warrant, bond 10,000, cash surety. That warrant will issue immediately.
Oh, that poor girl. Oh, that poor girl. That is hilarious. She must be so embarrassed right now. Terry, I already said hi to all the Terrys. I said hi to like 17 Terrys. So you already got your hello. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go to Judge Reese. And then you can decide later. Thank you, Fozzie. Why? I didn't even click anything. I don't know why that's happening. Hi, guys. It's Kathy. I
Hey,
hope you're
shut
doing
up.
well.
Martha.
There she
Hi,
is.
Martha.
Kelly, thank you, thank you, thank you. Kelly, he does talk too much. Kelly gives me a super sticker and then all of a sudden everything breaks. I'm not blaming me for this one. I think I gotta find my link though. There we go. There he is. No orange shoes today, but a whole orange outfit. Unless Lena says it's a different color, then it's not orange anymore. There she is. There's Mom. So Mom decided to bring an emergency hearing against Dad about custody. There's Dad. So he leaves it muted. I gotta find where he unmutes it. Come on, Judge.
Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
Primary custody
There it is.
to the father and joint legal custody to both of you, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, hi.
So there was a parenting plan in that order, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And the parenting plan gave you, both parents were to confer on all major decisions, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you had visitation the second and fourth weekend of every month?
Yes, ma'am.
And so that was Saturday, but not overnight, and then Sunday?
No, it was overnight. It was Saturday, and I had to bring them back Sunday. I
Okay,
got them at 11 on Saturday and brought them back at 6 on Sunday.
okay. So a little more than 24 hours?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And for those visitations, you were to pick up the children in Toombs County? Was that the agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Did it also give you video and telephone calls?
Yes, ma'am.
Access to all the records, including school, medical, and otherwise?
It should have.
Okay.
Well, should have and did, two different things.
It didn't. Yeah, I mean, it should have given me that, but I mean, I didn't get that from Chris.
No, what I'm asking you, was it in the order that you
Oh,
were to
yes,
have
yes,
access to
yes,
all
ma'am,
of these
sorry.
records?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you still reside in Effingham County now, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So when you had visits, you had to drive from Effingham, where you were, to Toombs County?
Effingham sounds like they're swearing. Or not swearing. Trying not to swear. Cha, we miss you so much. We love when you're here. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how long have you been living in Effingham County?
About 5 years.
And who resides there besides you?
William Grant.
Okay. Are there any other children that stay in that home from time
Yeah.
to time?
Brown
His
boots.
children will come every other weekend. And sometimes during the summer, they're there for 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
And are they under 18?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Was there any time when his children were there and your children were there as well?
Yes, ma'am.
And how did they all get along?
They played. They all had played video games. We were always outside and playing games, like playing dumb games, just like trying to hit a ball on the roof and laughing and playing basketball. And
Okay.
Yeah, we all got along. Everybody got along.
And you are gainfully employed, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you employed?
Little Raiders Learning Academy with Savannah Christian. It's a daycare.
Okay. Do you teach?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a toddler teacher.
A toddler teacher?
Toddler teacher. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, as part of a job as a teacher,
You don't teach toddlers, they teach you. You don't get to teach them anything.
does that require you to be vetted for that job? Did they check into your background
Oh,
and
yes.
everything?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you also have to submit to random drug
I
screens?
do.
Okay. Have there been random drug screens since you've been there?
There has been. Yes.
And how long have you been working there?
5 years. Over 5 years.
And do you work a regular 40-hour week?
Yes, ma'am.
And what's your earnings there? Do you get paid by the hour or salary?
By the hour.
And how much are you paid per hour?
$16.75.
Okay.
He does have a girlfriend or wife, I don't know, not new. She also has a boyfriend, not husband. It's just a whole spaghetti mess of why there's an emergency hearing. There's no emergency.
Now, how would you describe your relationship with Will?
We love each other, but we do have disagreements. We have some disagreements, like every other relationship does. And when we have disagreements, we separate. We go, he goes in a room, I go in a room, then we talk about it. We, get it together, think, breathe, and then we talk about it. But we don't have that many disagreements.
Will is her boyfriend. That's who she's talking about right now.
Okay. So you have ways of managing it without getting
Oh, yeah, he did.
accelerated. Okay.
Mhm.
And how long have you all been together?
Over 6 years.
Okay. Now, the modification was in 2021, at the end of 2021. Have the visitations been consistent every
Yes, you
every
missed
other
it.
weekend, Saturday to Sunday? Is that how it's been?
No,
Did it start out that way?
it started out the way, yes.
And how long did that last where it was every other weekend you consistently had visits?
Probably a little over a year.
And when you had those visits, did you have to contact him to tell him you were going to be there, or was it just a given that you guys
No,
would meet?
I would text him and tell him I was going to meet him at 11 at the Toombs County Courthouse.
Okay, and was that your main means of communication, texting?
Mhm.
Now, the number that you had then, is that the same number
No.
you have now?
No.
When did you change your number?
A couple of years ago.
When you changed your number, did you give him your new number?
I did. I gave him, and Leah has my new number.
Okay. Do you communicate with Leah at all, as well?
I did. I had to, I would call Chris to talk to the children, and then he would call Leah to have them call me because he wasn't with them.
So were you able to call them regularly?
No.
In about an hour.
How often did you get to call them?
A couple of times a week, if they would even call me back.
So did you try to regularly call them, or you were
Yeah,
not
no,
regularly-
I tried to call them.
Is her accent New York, you think? The lawyer. We all fell asleep. Don't worry about it.
But they wouldn't call me back sometimes. So,
How often did you call them?
on my days, whatever, 3 days, 3 times a week.
Okay. Now, when you were having these visits, you said that they were supposed to start at 11, right? On Saturday.
Mhm.
Did Chris arrive with the children on time at 11
No.
on Saturday? What
No,
time would he
he was
usually
late.
arrive?
Sometimes he was 30 minutes late.
Did he let you know that he was going to be late?
I would have to call him. I had to call him and tell him I'm waiting. And then he's like, oh, well, we're running behind. I'm coming. They left, they woke up late and we're coming. So yeah, he was late numerous times.
And for the other end of it, where you were supposed to meet at 6 o'clock, did you get there timely?
I
at
got
6
there
o'clock?
early to meet
Okay.
him, so I
Okay.
wouldn't be late.
And I believe the visitation, or let me rephrase that. Did the visitation say that, I'm sorry, did the parenting plan say that when you had visitation, that Will Grant could not be around the children.
Correct.
So how did you manage the visitation?
It's not thick, but it's Bronx. It's not really, really thick.
To not have him around?
Well, I had to drive to Tunes from my house in Guyton, get the children when he showed up with them, get the children, then drive all the way to the island where my parents live, Wilmington Island. So that's like two-hour drive.
And that's in Chatham County?
Yes, ma'am, Chatham County, Wilmington Island.
In fact, the other end of Chatham County?
Yes,
The
ma'am.
far eastern end?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And were you taking them there because they couldn't be at the house with Will?
Correct.
Okay. Was it, never mind, scratch that one. So when you did the phone visits with the children, were they, or no, let me back up. Yeah, when you did the phone visits with the children, how often did you actually get to speak with them?
At first, often,
That's New York.
Okay.
but it was always on speaker. I never talked to them like, by themselves. It was always on speaker.
On speaker on their end?
Mhm.
Okay. Did they tell you it was on speaker?
I could tell it was on speaker. I could hear other people in the background.
Okay.
And sometimes I'd be in the car when they were riding.
Now when you picked up the children in Toombs County, was it at the house or was it somewhere else?
It was here at the old courthouse.
Okay, and did Chris ever provide you with an address where he lives?
No.
Did you ask for an address where he lives?
Yes.
Did he just refuse to give it to you?
Yeah, he said I didn't need to know.
So your understanding is that you didn't need to know where your children were living?
Correct. That's
Okay.
what he said.
Now, since they've been living here,
No, New York has like 12 different accents. I don't think it's Jersey, it's New York. I'm telling you, it's New York.
did they attend or go to a daycare center?
Yes.
And what was the name of that?
Chapel Christian Academy?
Okay. Were you provided the address of that place?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is Chapel Christian Academy?
It is Leah's daycare.
Leah being Chris's wife?
Yes, ma'am. Chris's
And
wife.
she owns that daycare?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so, were the kids, to your knowledge, were the kids there every day?
Yes, ma'am. Supposedly they were there every day.
And were they in school there or?
They were supposed to be in school there.
Okay. Did you ask Chris or did he provide you with any information regarding the school of these children?
Not really. Very vague. Tell me don't worry about it.
Did you ask him for information
Yes.
regarding the school?
Yes. I told him that they need to be in real school with friends, and he said no. He said he doesn't trust.
He doesn't trust,
He doesn't trust the real schools.
that's what he told you?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So he doesn't trust them, he doesn't tell you the information, you have no information on where these kids are going to school, what they're learning, what their grades are, but you requested it.
Yes, ma'am.
And at some point after, well, you said it for about a year, you had visits with them. What happened after that?
He went help in any way,
Not only is it emergency custody, but it's Judge Reese. So he gets them at the end.
meet me halfway and he just.
Did you communicate with him and request visits like you were before?
Mhm.
And he was not, was he refusing the visits? What was he specifically
He just
doing?
ignored. He would ignore.
And by ignore, do you mean he didn't respond?
Right.
So you sent him requests for visits and he failed to respond. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when did that start? Do you remember?
A couple of years ago.
Okay, so maybe in 2022?
Mhm.
And how often did you communicate to try to get visits?
At first, a lot, but then, I wasn't getting anywhere with him.
Did you stop communicating or did you just do
Well,
it less often?
One time he sent a text saying that nobody needs me in their life, that I don't do anything for the children, that, I'm not Christian for the children, that, what else did he say? I'm trash.
He's telling you this? Okay.
Yeah.
Is he telling you this in text or is he telling
In
you over the
text.
phone?
Text.
So was it your understanding based on that, that he wasn't going to allow visits?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you continue to request visits off and on or at all?
No, I did. I continued to request them.
And how often did you request?
Once a month.
Now, since the filing of this petition, have you made further attempts to try to get visitation?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did you do?
Texted him. I called to, I texted him, said, can I speak to the children? Please let me speak to the children. I came up here, a couple, 4 times and told him I was going to meet him at 11 on Saturday on my visitation day and waited here over an hour in the parking lot.
Did he show up?
Nope. And he never responded either.
And did you do that more than one time?
Yes, ma'am. I have proof of it.
Okay. So you sent him communications, you had no response, but you were out here waiting for the children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did Leah or anyone else communicate with you that he was not going to allow the visits?
No, ma'am.
So there was just cold stone silence?
Mhm.
Okay. Now, you heard some opening statements about Cadence being in the hospital and that you went there. How was it that you found out she was in the hospital?
My mother called me.
Did Chris ever call you or text you to let you know that Cadence was in the hospital?
No, I called Chris and he told me that he was going out of town. And then I told him, don't lie to me. And then he said that they were taking Cadence to the hospital.
Did he give you any reason why?
Said that she said she was going to hurt herself.
Again, there's like 17 different accents in New York. She's from New York. She's from New York.
And so did he tell you what hospital it was?
Yeah, Leah told me what hospital it was.
Okay. And did you
'Cause they
go to
were on
that
speaker.
hospital?
I did. I went to that hospital, right? I went.
Speaking of, speaking of drilling, I got another members only video. I just don't know when to play it, but it's coming.
From work straight to the hospital.
And did you go by yourself or did you take someone with you?
No, ma'am. My father and mother met me up here.
Okay. Your father and your mother came?
Yes, ma'am.
So that would be Mr. and Mrs. Kenny?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you went up there, did the 3 of you go up to find out about her or just
No,
you?
me and my father did.
And what happened?
Whenever I called Chris to tell him I was there, he decided to argue with me about child support and then told me that there was guards outside that I wouldn't be able to see her. I said, please talk to the guards so I can see Cadence and make sure she's okay. And he ran inside the hospital and didn't want to face me. Leah was out there wanting to fight me. And then she went inside and then we went into the hospital and waited to talk to the nurse. And then the head nurse came out and said that if I didn't have paperwork that said I had, we had joint custody, that I couldn't, they couldn't allow me to go back there. So then we left.
Hi, Willie.
And then they had Leah escorted off because she shouldn't have been back there either. That wasn't her mother. I should have been back there and Chris should have been back there.
At any point, did you tell someone, anybody in the hospital that you were going to remove the child and take her into your care?
No, I never even got a chance to say anything except for to the nurse.
So the only thing you spoke to the nurse about was that you were the mother?
Yes. Yes, I wanted to see my child. If there's any way that they could let me see Cadence to make sure she's okay.
And you never said you were taking this child home?
No.
You never asked to take this child home?
No.
In fact, you never saw Cadence?
I never saw her.
Did you communicate with Chris after that about what was going on with her?
Yes, I did.
And what happened there?
He said that they were taking her to a facility. And I said, what facility? And he wouldn't let me know. He said it was in Macon. And I said, what facility? I said, Chris, she has an ego facility. Please, I said, I'm her mother, please. I said, let me speak to her. He would not let me speak to her. And Leah just kept her away from me.
So Leah
I didn't
was,
know where she was.
did they ever tell you where she was?
I didn't even know she came home.
Have you been able to speak to her about any of this?
Today's the first day I saw her.
Well, today when you saw her, were you able to interact with her?
A little bit till he took her from me.
So from your perspective, they removed her from your presence.
Yes, all three of them.
Leading.
That would be leading, sustain the objection.
Was she able to stay with you at all?
No, I hugged her and I told her I loved her. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, we didn't know. I didn't know. And I told her, I said, I want you out of this. I told her, I'm sorry that this happened to her.
So clearly from what you're saying, you are concerned about Cadence's
I'm very
welfare, is
concerned
that
about
right?
all my children.
Okay, all three of the children. Now, in January of this year, did Chris communicate with you about Cadence and having her come stay with you?
Yes.
And what exactly did he communicate?
He texted and said, can I talk to you for a second? I was at work and I said, yeah. I said, hang on. So then I texted him. I said, yeah, I can talk to you. And so he called me and Cadence was in the car with him. And he said that they were having problems with Cadence. She was
It's complicated.
being a problem at the daycare, being a problem at the house in their marriage. And he said, can she come live with you? I said, that's fine. I said, I don't mind that. I said, let me talk to Will. I said, and he will have no problem with that. I said, that's fine. I said, we need to do this the legal way. I said, I don't want you, saying I kidnapped her or anything. I said, we need to do it legal way. I said, you need to talk to your lawyer about it. And so, the next day he asked me, he said, is there any questions you want me to talk to my attorney and all that? I said, child support. I said, we'll talk about that, me not, paying child support for her, and I'm trying to think what all he said. Oh, he texted back that it was going to be $1,500 to change the papers. So he said that they were going another route.
And did you hear anything else about her coming with you after that?
No.
Did you ever tell Chris that you did not want Cadence with you?
No, I would never say that.
Okay. Did you
I'll get her
tell
for you. I'll
Cadence
get
or
her.
anybody else that you didn't want her with you?
No.
Now, we all know that Hurricane
It's not.
Helene happened
It's
a
just
few
not.
months ago. Did you hear from Chris then about
No, I
the
texted
situation
him.
here and the effects of the hurricane?
No, ma'am, I texted him and called and texted, nothing. So then I had to call for a welfare check.
Your Honor, I'd like the court to take judicial notice that you could have called and texted till the cows come home in Toombs County for about 5 days after the hurricane, but nobody had any reception.
Damn
There
it.
was a period of time when there was no
My mic was left on. Ha! I'm going to go out on a limb and say that lawyer is not from New York.
reception. I don't know how long it was, but it was a good little while.
Did you continue to communicate after the first 5 days to a week?
Yes,
Did you hear anything from
I
him
didn't
about?
until I called for a welfare check.
And when did you call for a welfare check?
A week and a half after. And then I still didn't hear from the children until Chris texted the next day saying that he heard that there was police at the house. And then he thought it was ridiculous for me to do that, to bring police out in the house. And so then he let the children talk to me.
Were they talking on
night.
speakerphone that night?
Yes, ma'am, all on speakerphone.
Okay. After that, did you get to talk to them or was it just that one time?
That was it.
So as far as the court order, you were supposed to have visitation, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You were supposed to be able to communicate with your children, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
At any time, did you block Chris or anyone from your telephone?
No, because that'd be dumb. No, no, ma'am.
And you said that you did call him many, many times, so there was no blocking if you're continuing to call him,
No.
okay? Is it your testimony today that there was just a
Your Honor,
failure to
objection
respond?
leading.
Does sound leading.
Do you believe that he failed to respond?
Yes.
Objection speculation.
Well, if he didn't, either he responded or he didn't. He did. You say he did not respond.
No,
Got
sir,
it.
he did not.
So
Lunch.
based on all of this, what is it you're asking the court for today?
I'm asking for my children to get away from their father and have a normal life and come live with me at my house and have a normal life and not be like controlled so much. I just want them to have a normal teenage years.
Don't be a
They
show off.
haven't
I
had it
know.
in so long.
And
Mike Leo, I treasure
if you were
X.
to have
Hi.
custody,
I'm
then would you
waving.
allow communication and visitation with the father?
I would.
Okay.
That's it. No more discussion. It's a shade of orange.
How would that visitation look?
I mean, he would have to come meet me in Effingham or Chatham to get him.
So if you were to have
It'd
custody.
be every other weekend,
Okay. Every other weekend.
like it used to be.
And if you were to have custody, you want them at your house, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any intent on bringing the children to their grandparents and having them stay there?
No.
Okay. But you want them to have time with their grandparents?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay. And then are you asking also that the child support obligation you have right now be terminated if you were to have custody?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that's all I have for now, Your Honor.
Ms. Lee, you acknowledge that William Grant testified at the final hearing that Cadence, Camden, and Connor were not welcome at his home, correct?
Mhm.
Is that a
Yeah,
yes?
yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And you also acknowledge that the dog that bit Connor is still in the house, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you don't intend to get rid of Mr. Grant, and you don't intend to get rid of the dog, do you?
No.
Okay. But you, at the last hearing, you put Mr. Grant ahead of your children, didn't you? Because you picked him over
No.
him.
No, I didn't.
You did not.
No, I
Okay.
did not.
You say that you want your children to have a nice, normal life. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't it true that it's not normal to witness your mother get a beat down and her head stomped in with blood all over the place?
That didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
That did not happen.
So the police didn't come and call Mr. Lee to have him come get the kids because of everything that had occurred at your house while you and Mr. Grant were in a drunken
Your Honor, I'm
stupor?
objecting to anything referencing the police. She doesn't have knowledge of what the police were told by a third party, and she doesn't have a knowledge of what the police know.
I actually did, Your Honor. I had the reports and I
The-
handled the
the
last
witness did.
hearing.
I'm talking about the witness, Your Honor.
Yeah. How can she know what somebody else
Mhm.
knows? Is her point.
She gave them the information.
Well, you ask your question again.
Okay. Isn't it true you told the police that you had gotten into a fight with Mr. Grant and that he beat you up?
No, I never talked to the police that
You
night.
never talked to the
I never
police?
talked to the police that night.
Okay, but the police did get the kids and send them with Mr. Lee, right?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I'm objecting. She has no knowledge of what the police did.
Well, if she was there when the police came and got the children, she would certainly have knowledge of what the police did, wouldn't
But
she?
that's not the question that was asked.
Well, I thought that was the question that was asked. Were you there when they came and got the kids?
Sir?
Were you there when when the police came and got the children?
Yes.
Okay. So she obviously has knowledge about what the police did. I don't understand the objection.
That's not the way the question was asked. She was asking what the police knew and what they were told
No,
by.
she said,
the
did the police,
father.
did the police come and get the kids? And she said, yes. I'll overrule the objection.
All right, so since that last hearing, you still got the same conditions at your house, Will's still there, the dog's still there. Isn't it true you've also continued to use alcohol in excess?
No,
You don't. When
No.
did you stop using alcohol in excess?
Your Honor, I would
Haven't-
object to the form of that question and to explain what she means by excess.
You know what excess means?
yes, drunk all the
I'll
time.
overrule the objection.
No, I do not use it in excess.
All right, based on that, would you agree to an alcohol level nail test?
No, I'm not.
You're not going to
No, I'm
agree to
not going
that.
to
Your
agree
Honor,
to
I
that.
would move to order her to have an alcohol nail level test along with any person in her home based on her lack of willingness to participate.
Your Honor, there is no evidence before us today of any alcohol problem other than a question asked by the attorney to the witness, and I object to asking for a test without any further evidence showing that there is any issue with alcohol. When clearly the witness just said she does not drink in excess, she does not get drunk, there's no further evidence to require a test.
Well, I'll decide whether we don't get tests later on. You may proceed.
Isn't it true back in September of 23, you actually drank in excess and drove the children afterwards?
No,
And
that's not
isn't it
true.
also true that you told the children not to tell their dad about that?
That's not true.
Isn't it also true that you've also told the children to not tell their father that you had them around Will Grant?
Will was never around them. I was been at my parents' house almost every time.
Almost.
There's one time that I wasn't, but I did not have anything to drink with them. And I never would drive with them intoxicated. That's a long way.
Before I forget to ask you, a few minutes ago, you talked about how your children get along so well with his children and they love to play games together and throw the ball on the roof and all that. How are they doing that?
No,
Is
this was
that-
at the beginning. This was whenever, before we had the already thing in Effingham. This was before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was
with
like
the
a long time
original
ago.
divorce, Your
Yeah,
Honor.
but yeah, that was right after the divorce.
All right. Go
Yes.
ahead.
So you have no present knowledge of how these kids would get along with his kids whatsoever, do you?
Not now.
All right, how old are his kids?
16 and 13.
All right, what's the 16-year-old, boy or girl?
Boy,
What's 13-year-old?
girl.
Great. So you want to take a 17-year-old boy, a 16-year-old boy, and a 14-year-old girl and throw them in the same house sometimes as these two?
I mean, he can have them on the weekend that his kids are here or at our house.
Okay. Now, tell me, how big is your house?
3 bedroom, 2 bath.
And what would be the sleeping arrangements?
Cadence would have her room and the boys would share a room. They've always shared a room their whole life.
Okay. And when the other kids come, where would they stay?
Well, Chris would have them on that weekend, and then the children could stay in the rooms that they stay.
Okay. Isn't it true you've also told the children not to tell their dad other things?
No,
Okay. You mentioned earlier that you had asked him to meet you halfway. Is that right?
I have.
Isn't it true that you got $100 a month travel deviation as the deviation allows for the mother to exercise visitation on child support? So you were getting the benefit of being the one to travel.
Absolutely, she's creating drama. However, she hasn't got to see or speak to her kids in a while at all because the dad won't let her. So that's not drama. However, her kids are in their teens. So, I mean, I know the way my kids were when they were in their teens. The father could have spoken to them at any time he wanted to. I can't block all contact from their phones. It's impossible.
by getting to pay less in child support, correct?
I don't know. I didn't have a lawyer at that time. I was representing myself, so I just signed because I was being a little bullied by y'all.
Bye, Will.
So you don't remember the hearing where Judge Muldrew
Hi,
basically
Bruce.
told us what it was gonna be?
Well, because I signed that. I signed it away because I thought that they would be okay with their father. I thought that they were just fine, and comes to find out they're not.
Well, are you aware that the boys have a 4.0 and a 3.5 GPA respectively?
No, because their father doesn't tell me anything about the children.
And then Cadence is an AB student?
She just started going to Toombs after all this. She just started like 2 months ago. Sorry.
I'd like to give you a copy of the final paperwork from the last case.
Sure.
All right, so if it says it in the paperwork, we can agree that you get $100 a month off of your child support. So you were the one to transport, right?
Your Honor, I'm
guess.
objecting to
I
that
don't know.
because she already testified she didn't know what was in the
I
document.
didn't
You don't
know.
know what's in the paperwork? You've
Well, I
been
mean,
testifying-
I was such under distress. I didn't know.
No. The question is, do you now know what's in the paperwork?
Oh, now I know since she just
Well,
said
that's the
that.
question.
Yes,
Are you
sir.
getting a $100 a month deduction off your child support for transportation? That's the question. Not whether you knew it then or didn't know it then. Do you know it now?
Well, if
Is it
she
in the
says I
paperwork?
am, then I am.
Well,
Yes, sir.
whatever. Okay.
All right. But you were wanting him to meet you halfway anyway, right?
Well, sometimes, just like a couple of times.
So in fact, the reason you stopped visiting is because you just didn't want to have to come all the way over here, right?
No, not
Okay.
true.
And is it your testimony here today that the children are safe in the presence of William Grant?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Thank
to
you,
support
Snoopy.
that, what evidence of any anger management classes has he completed?
He doesn't need anger management.
He doesn't need any anger
No,
management.
he does not.
So he hadn't taken any, is that right?
No,
Your Honor,
he
I'm
doesn't
objecting
need
to
it.
that question. There's been no evidence that there's any anger
Doesn't
on the
need
part
any.
of Will. There's only been testimony about a dog bite. That's it.
Well, there was some questions about the police having to come and take the children away because of a fight that they had where she got beat up.
I didn't
That's
get
one
beat up
incident, Your
though.
Honor.
Well,
That's
ma'am,
still,
I didn't, hold on.
That's-
That's what, I didn't hear you.
that's one incident that still does not warrant anger management counseling for one incident.
That would be a matter of opinion.
Yes.
The way I was raised, if a man lifts his hand to beat a woman once, that's enough. Just say it, just so you know what you're dealing with.
So no anger management, right?
No.
Y'all gone to couples counseling?
No,
Y'all still aren't married, correct?
no.
No plan of getting married inside?
Yes, we do.
Oh, when's the date?
Is it cats? Tell me it's cats. Is it the cats that are the problem? Private time? What is private time? I thought I would get private time now that my kids are older. Nope. Nope.
We don't have a date, but eventually we're going to get married. Someday we're going to get married.
So is your intent to take these 3 children and allow them to reside in a meretricious relationship with a man who's had no rehabilitation as far as abuse or counseling or anything of that nature, right?
He doesn't need it. Nothing ever happened that night.
I'm
It
sorry,
did not. He
Snoopy.
never stomped my head. He never did any of that. Nothing ever happened that night because he would have been taken away in handcuffs.
So
Nothing
Shut
happened that
up.
night.
the blood all over the place.
That
at
wasn't
y'all's
mine. That was
house?
his blood.
Okay.
That was his blood because he hit the door with his finger hit the door. That was his blood. I never had blood on me.
Okay.
Not one time.
All right. But nothing has been done to address any of that, right? So you want Judge Reese to take these 3 kids who have been in the primary care of my client since late 2021 and just drop them back off at your house with no remediation whatsoever. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, because they're better off with me than with him.
So 2021 was when he got custody. He was supposed to give her visitation. and he doesn't.
Never around.
Okay. And you don't feel like these children need to be protected from Mr. Grant, do you?
I do not. They need to be protected from his father.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a problem with him insisting that they abide by the laws of the state of Georgia?
What's that? What? I'm sorry.
You have a problem with him not wanting them to break the law?
No.
Okay. Do you have a problem with him wanting them to be obedient children?
They are obedient children because I
They
raised
are.
them.
Because you raised them.
I raised them.
So when Cadence stole her stepmother's deceased husband's ring and had it hid in her room, you raised her to do that,
No,
right?
he never told me that. And no, I
Okay.
never raised her to do that.
Okay.
He never said anything to me about that. And I would got on to her for that. She knows better.
She knows better.
She knows better.
Okay. You acknowledge that you have gone long periods of time without paying support for these children, correct?
No.
No?
Some, no. I mean, I paid him whatever I could.
Okay. What's the biggest check for support you ever sent him at one time?
2,000,
Okay. And how much is your monthly obligation?
377.
So that means you were about 4.5 months behind in child support?
And he knew that. I texted him.
Okay, so the answer is you have gone long periods of time without paying support for these children, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And in fact, you're currently $794.
She absolutely did pay him what was required. It was just that one part where she was late,
Behind as we sit here today.
No, I'm not.
which is
not.
unacceptable.
I'm not. I
I
have
know.
proof of all the child support that I have
I'm a
paid
single
him.
mom.
And there's a check that he will not sign.
Okay. And earlier on direct, I wrote this down as a verbatim quote.
You're gonna hear how far she went to make sure he got his child support.
Because it was pretty marked statement for me. You said, Chris, she doesn't need to go to a facility. Is that what you told him?
Yes.
Okay. So you had the belief when you appeared at the hospital here that she didn't need to go anywhere. Is that correct?
No, I don't think she needed to go anywhere.
Okay. So you would have had her leave and go with you because
No, I wanted to see her.
Okay.
I wanted to tell her it's okay. I wanted to see her. She needed to see her mother.
Isn't it true that the decision to not have Cadence go live with you earlier in 2024 was yours, not my
Wrong
client's?
is wrong.
And in fact, it was because you told Chris that you and Will were still having problems.
Nope, never said that.
Okay.
Wrong. I would never tell Chris that.
It's an emergency hearing brought on by mother.
Do you think it's proper to tell your children to lie to their father about things that happen at your house?
I've never told them to lie to their father. I don't need to.
Hold on just a second.
The judge has an opinion about what you just said. Dad has to come up too. Dad has things to say too, and the lawyer's going to get him.
You acknowledge that the investigator for Toombs County reached out to you, right?
No, I had to call him
You-
because I came up here to talk to the police. No, I had to call him.
Well, how did you call him if you say my
Because I called
client
the
didn't
police and
notify
they-
you?
I called, no, because my mother told me about it. And I came up here to talk to the police after the hospital incident.
Okay.
That night that I found out everything about Adrian and all that, I was on the way to the hospital to see Cadence.
Is my mic better here? I just bumped my mic up a little bit. Is that good or am I too loud?
And what kind of equivalent schooling is available where you are so that the kids can maintain the track that they're on as far as their education is concerned?
There's Effingham High School.
Right, but do they have a dual enrollment
Yes, they
program?
do.
So they can take the college classes at the same time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
They do.
And how far away will the college be that they attend if that happens?
Not very far.
What is not very far?
They have a college in Effingham. They
Sorry?
have a college in Effingham.
Okay, what's the name of it?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I don't know, but I know that they do because his son goes to Effingham.
They're talking about college, guys. That's how old these kids are.
Whose
And Will's son.
son? Okay.
Both him and his daughter go there, and he did say that they have a dual enrollment.
Okay. And isn't it really true, though, that you're not really planning on the kids living with you if you get them, but you're going to drop them off at your parents' house?
No.
Okay. I don't have anything else at this time.
All right, anything on redirect?
Yes, Your Honor. Okay, you were just asked about child support.
Yes, ma'am.
Did there come a time where you had to deal with child support enforcement?
Yes, ma'am.
And was there an arrearage affidavit filled out by you and Mr. Lee?
Ma'am.
Was there an arrearage affidavit filled out by the two of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And does that affidavit state month by month what is due and what is paid?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I object. This was not filled out by her at all.
It was filled out by him, by Chris. Chris filled that out. That's what I got from the
object to
child
the form of the question because it's leading to improper information.
I'm not sure I understand the objection.
The attorney asked if she and he filled out this paperwork.
Okay,
She did.
I guess
I
the
can
proper
rephrase
question
that,
is, did they
Your
agree
Sorry.
on, did they agree on a piece of paper that says what the arrearage is or whatever?
Were you given the piece of paper, the affidavit signed by Mr. Lee?
That,
Yes, the
Child support.
arrearage affidavit,
yes,
and you were provided with that.
yes,
And did it spell out month by month what was paid and what was owed?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to approach the witness, Your Honor.
You may.
Here's that affidavit that I'm referencing.
Okay,
For 2022, let me go back. For 2021, there would have been one payment due, correct?
right,
For December of that year?
yes,
And that was paid?
yes, ma'am.
And then all of the payments that were due at $377 were paid in 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
And in 2023, does it show, I can't add that in my head, but about $1,000 or $1,200 deficit?
Yes. Yes,
It shows that 4524 was owed, but 3147 was paid.
yes,
And then in this year, up through September, there were 3 payments made at the time of this affidavit. Is that right?
yes,
And the balance due would have been $3,635 according to that affidavit.
according to this, yes, but
Okay.
it's wrong.
You're saying it's wrong?
It was wrong, yeah, because the proof that I have, I wrote down the month that of the payment that it was. Like if it was February, I wrote January 2023 child support on each of one of my checks, and then I had to do money order because he was holding the checks.
Now, when you paid the child support, what form of payment did you use?
I started off with checks with him, and then that became a problem. So then I had to go to money orders.
And did it stay money orders?
Yes, it's still money orders.
And did you mail it in a regular mail? Did you hand deliver it? How was it sent to them?
No, I did certified copy, once the money order started. Certified receipt.
So by certified letter with a return receipt?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
And did you do that for each and every payment?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you receive back the green card receipt for each and every payment?
Except for this month's. Yes, ma'am.
And how much was this month's payment?
It was $377.
And you have not received back the green card for that?
I have not, because whenever I do the tracking number, it says no access to the delivery to the destination,
And where are you sending these payments?
to the daycare.
Okay. And your understanding is there's no access to that?
Yes, ma'am. That's what, whenever I do the USPS tracking, that was my last one. It says no access.
Now, from that affidavit, it appears that there's some deficits in money or in payments. Have you made up those deficits?
I have.
So so to your knowledge, are you current on all child support up through December of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So there are no more arrearages.
No, there's no more.
And you have provided copies, or you have made copies of every check that you did?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you made copies or kept the receipts for the certified letters sent?
Did. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you did that for each and every month that money was sent?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you are stating now that you are current on child support?
I am.
Okay.
Did you guys notice Fozzie's gold star in chat?
That's all you're on.
Ms. Malice,
Nothing further.
you may step down.
Thank you.
Anything else?
All right, I'm ending the poll now. This is your last chance. Stay in this, finish it, or leave. 5, 4, 3. Good job, Monica. In one more month, you're gold. 2. It is outstandingly finished today. So now the father comes up. Here we go, guys. Father's turn. My coffee's here, so I'm going to be right back. I didn't get any snow. No.
He thinks she's $700.
I got cold. It got a little cold. Not enough. I didn't have a coat on today. I did have a coat on after work. So after the sun went down, yeah, I put a coat on. But no. No snow. Not even one flake.
Any other witnesses?
Oh, yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry. Will Grant?
Will Grant. Somebody go get Mr. Grant. It's a temporary hearing.
Right. Your Honor, I do intend to cross-examine him. However, I do not wish to burn my witness on him since he's being called. So I just want to make sure that that's going to be acceptable with the court.
If he's called as a witness, you can cross-examine him, sure. Raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give in the case now and here be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir. I
Please have a seat.
Can you state your name for the record, please?
I can't hear you. I'm sorry, but
Can you state your name for the record, please?
Will Grant.
And Mr. Grant, how is it that you know these parties?
I know Christy. Christy is my girlfriend, and I know Chris as being her ex-husband.
Okay. And Mr. Grant, where do you live?
In Guyton, 123 Linton Lane, Guyton, Georgia.
And who lives there with you?
Christy.
Okay. And how long have you and Christy been together?
It's been over 6 years, 6+ years.
So you were with her after she divorced Chris?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Have you been able to spend time with the 3 children of theirs that they share?
Have I?
Yes. Have you spent time with the 3 children that they share?
Yes, I have, many occasions.
Okay. And where is it that you work?
I work at the ILA 1475 Longshoremen Association with the Port of Savannah.
Okay. As part of your job, are you required to be drug tested?
Yes, ma'am.
And is it done randomly or?
We are drug tested randomly from 20 to 28 times a year.
Okay. Do you use the color line method or they just call you up randomly?
I think it's a formula between our employee number and social number.
Okay.
That it's completely random.
Okay. Do you recall testifying for the court at the last hearing regarding modification of this matter?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you recall saying that the children weren't welcome in your home?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you given the opportunity to explain what you meant by that?
No, ma'am.
Can you explain to the court what you meant by the children not being welcome?
Yes, ma'am. Your Honor, that statement that I made in court was in direct reference to the manipulation and the coercion of the kids by the defendant and his wife. I witnessed tape recordings, they were snickering in the background, videotaping, and that specific statement was, I wasn't going to let that come in my house. They're not going to come in my house and spy and record, against their mother. That's what I was referring to. That's my explanation for that statement.
Okay, so are the children welcome in your home aside from the spying?
Yes, the kids are more than welcome at the house. They got along. They played with my kids. We had lots of good times together. But the way that they've treated their mother, in my opinion, the way the fathers manipulated and coerced them, I wasn't going to let them come into my house and bring tape recorders.
Hold on, y'all, objection. She objects to that. He's speculating as to why the children may have done whatever it is he said they did.
He's just explaining their behavior, Your Honor.
No, he's saying this because of manipulation by their father. How does he know that? What's his basis for knowing that?
Well, partly because they're recording everything, and when they come into his house, they're coming in with those spy habits.
Spy habits, okay?
As far as recording conversations, using the cell phone, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mother's boyfriend.
Without me speculating as to why they might want to record things in the house, I can speculate as to many other reasons they might want to. I'll allow it. I don't think it merits a whole lot of time one way or the other. I'll overrule the objection.
Did you ever ask them to record conversations, or did you ever record conversations between you and the children?
No, I never record anything.
Okay.
She's never recorded anything.
Now, you said that your children and Christy's children were spending time in your home. Is that right?
All the time. Oh, well, no, because I didn't have the house at that time. No, we spent the time at her residence.
In Christy's residence?
Yes, at that time, Christy had her own place, and I would bring my kids over there.
Okay. And at that time, did you have a dog?
Yes, I did.
Is that the same dog you have now?
Yes, ma'am.
Were there ever any issues of the dog getting aggressive with any of the children?
No, that dog has never bitten, growled, or done anything in any type of aggressive manner to anybody.
Did there come a time when he got aggressive with one of the children of Christy?
Yes, I can explain that real quick if you want me to.
I'm sorry?
I can explain it, yes.
Yes, please.
They were playing it, we were all playing in the backyard, throwing the football, playing the frisbee. They were playing, all the kids were playing with the dog's toy. They would pick up the toy, the dog would run after them and chase them, and they would keep it away from them, okay? So while this was happening, the oldest child was taking the toy and he was jerking at the dog's collar. And the dog, he wasn't aggressively growling, but he was growling and barked a couple of times. And we told him
Oh, that's a loaded question.
to lighten up, take it easy on the dog, don't jerk his collar and stuff. Anyway, make a long story short, she was saying the same thing and the accident happened. There's never been any other instance of the dog doing anything like that to anybody.
So when you say accident, the dog didn't
The dog did not go after the child. No.
Intentional.
But your objection?
I think he was gonna say the dog didn't intend. We don't know what the dog intended.
Yeah, well, I'll overrule the objection. I don't think he went there anyway, so yeah, go ahead.
So you believe that what happened that day was an accident?
It was a happenstance that, yes, it's never, ever happened since, and there was never any prior indication that that would happen.
And when it did happen, was the eldest child injured?
Yes,
Did he require medical treatment?
yes, we took him to the hospital.
So did you and Christy take him to the hospital?
Yes, we both did.
And did you take him the same day that this happened?
Exactly right after it happened. And when we got back, we called the father and notified the father of the entire situation.
Okay, so you told the father, and did he require, what kind of medical
Don't worry, it's just a
treatment did he require?
second.
Some stitches, the dog got him on the back shoulder and on the butt. I don't remember the number of stitches.
But there were some stitches.
Yes, ma'am.
And after that, did the child who was
Look at you in gold. Look at you.
bit interact with the dog after that on other occasions?
No, there was never an altercation, anything after that.
No, did he interact as in playing with the dog or any kind of thing like that?
Well, her kids never really played with the dog. It was
Okay.
my kids played with the dog mostly.
Okay,
But when my kids started playing with the dogs, they did also.
okay,
They pretty much ignored the dog.
okay. So nobody said they were uncomfortable with the dog being there?
They were never uncomfortable with that dog.
Okay.
Member for 6 months, at least.
And the eldest child being Connor, he was the only one involved in that incident?
Yes, ma'am.
The
The
other
other
two
kids were
children?
playing, yeah.
Okay. Can you describe your relationship with Christy as far as what it's like and how it is?
I mean, I don't think it's any different than any other person's relationship. We have disagreements. I've been with her for 6+ years. I don't see that changing. I don't plan on going anywhere. I accept her and her children.
Okay, so do you plan on continuing the relationship with her?
I do.
Is marriage in the future?
It is not off the table. I mean, it's just not the right time.
Brennan, I can't pop your 4-month up on the screen here because it's not in my chat. I don't know why. I can't, my streaming software didn't pop it up. Wait, I gotta fix this, guys. I can fix this. I have tools. Yay. There we go.
Okay, but it's something you will consider in the future?
Yes,
Okay.
we have had many talks about it.
Okay.
I say it's a good beginning. We got 2 gold people. One is working right now, though.
So you are willing to have the children in your home?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Whether it's full-time, part-time, weekends?
I wouldn't
You have no
deprive those
problem.
kids of anything I never had. They've gotten everything my kids have gotten.
And would you ensure that there's no negative interactions with your dog?
Yes, ma'am. The dog
you-
he's crate trained. I mean, he doesn't run out. He's very disciplined.
Okay, so you say crate train. Do you have a crate for him?
Yes, I
if
do.
Need be?
Yes, I do. And it's within the house.
Okay. And you would ensure that you are there if the children are there and the dog is there?
They would have no access to the dog.
Okay. Okay, that's all I have right now.
Ms. Maddox?
Mr. Grant, did you get the benefit of meeting Mr. Evans, my process server?
Sure did.
Okay. Can you tell me, what did you say to him about me?
I told him you were a lovely person. I couldn't wait to see you in court.
Really?
I did. I sure
Okay, and
did.
that's, you understand that you just swore an oath to tell the truth. Is that
I don't see
correct?
how anything is relevant on what I think of you or what you think of me.
Sir, isn't it true? You just swore an oath to tell the truth.
Yes,
Okay.
nobody's
And
lying.
you did that under penalty of perjury, correct?
I didn't perjure anything.
Your Honor,
Okay.
I'm objecting to this line of testimony. This is not relevant to the care of the children when comments are made about a third party. People are going to comment about third parties every day, so I'm objecting to that.
It is absolutely relevant because it goes directly to what he thinks about women. One of these children is a female that he is asking to be placed in his
I
home.
think it goes to his character, and because he's already testified that he said you were a very nice person. I wonder if that's what he really said or not. We'll see.
So now that we've had a discussion about what the truth is, can you tell us what you said to my process server?
I am
What did you
all about
call
the
me?
truth. What you got?
What did you call me?
I called you a cunt.
Yes, you did.
I sure
And
did.
what else did you say?
Well, that was based on all the insulting remarks that you made last time we were in court and the insinuations. So
It
let's
was-
be honest.
It was based on my thorough and sifting cross-examination. of
You have no
wasn't it?
cross-exam and to impugn on my character for what I think of you.
Okay.
It's totally
What
pertinent.
else did you say?
What does it matter?
Just answer the questions.
I said, you can suck my balls.
Oh, okay. All right. Great. Isn't it true you continue to consume alcohol?
I do.
Okay. And do you know what excess is?
Yeah, I do.
And do you use alcohol in excess?
No,
Okay. Were you under the influence of alcohol at the time you got served with that subpoena?
no. No, I was not. I was at work, as a matter of fact.
And based on, let me ask you this, do you think you use alcohol in excess at all?
No, I don't.
Would you be willing to take an alcohol nail level test if the court were to order it?
I'm already drug tested enough, and I will state on the record that I drink between 6 and a 12-pack a week, and I'll give you that.
Will you do a test to confirm it?
No,
Okay. And you agree that you're not married to the plaintiff in this action?
I agree.
correct? And you agree there's no date set to get married, is that correct?
I agree.
And in fact, you stated on direct, and I quote, marriage is not off the table, is that right?
It's not off the table.
So it's not
No.
even on the table either, is it?
Well, you can't insinuate that. I believe you're insinuating. You're not stating facts.
Well, if it's not off the table, is it on the table?
It is on the table. We've had many conversations about it.
But you've been with her for 6 years and you hadn't done it yet, right?
Correct.
Have you spent time with these kids since November of 2021?
Sure have not.
Have you seen them,
No,
talked to them,
no,
been in their presence?
no.
Okay. You acknowledge that Chris actually asked you to remove the dog after the biting incident, correct?
Yes.
So he did have a problem with that dog at that time, didn't he?
No, he did not. The actual conversation that we had on the phone was in regards to the dog, and I told him, I told him right there, I said, if he would like me to take the dog and have the dog evaluated, I would. And matter of fact, I did have the dog evaluated.
Okay.
By an expert.
By an expert?
Yes, I did.
Where
Yes.
was this expert at the hearing?
It wasn't even brought up in the hearing. All y'all brought up in the hearing was, did I have a dog?
Okay. And you would agree that At this point, you're more important than the kids, right?
I'm more important. What do you mean?
Well, Miss
Give me some more of
Lee
that.
has chosen you over the children.
That's
correct?
not true.
No.
No,
And the dog is also more important than the kids because the dog's still there.
no. Yes, the dog is still there. Yes.
No.
And you claim that the kids
What studies say that?
are now welcome in your home.
That's what I said.
Do you actually mean it?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
There will be no, again,
Thank you,
tape
JoJo.
recording,
Thank you.
Stuff like that going on in
Really?
my house. There will not be.
Okay.
Yes.
So they won't be allowed to have a phone at your house.
Oh, they can have a phone. You heard what I said.
Okay. But a phone has a recorder, right?
Yes, but like I said, there will be no coercion and stuff like that taking place within my house. It's my house. There will not be audio tapes, videotapes, stuff for them to be manipulated to turn against their mother. I don't play that.
So in other words, as long as it's your coercion, it's okay.
I don't coerce anybody in my
All right,
home.
but you just said they can't have any audio or video.
No, that's what you said. They can't. No, get it straight. That's not what I said. What I said, they will not be audioing, videotaping with implications.
June, honey love, you can bring as many sources as you want, but almost all of us has been divorced after 7 years. So, and family members that we've known for way more than 7 years. So bye-bye.
To hurt their mother in any way.
Why? What? Explain that to me. Why would someone videotaping what goes on in your house be a problem? Why would that be a, I just don't understand that.
It's not that, Your Honor. It's many a times that Christy has talked to her children on video. You can see the kids. They're sitting across from them. The kids can't speak freely because they're looking up.
No. You're
the
not talking
entire
about.
time.
You're not. I'm not.
And that's what I mean.
But you're talking about when he's with them and they're talking to her on the phone or whatever.
Yes, sir.
I'm talking about what you said was when they came to your house, they would not be allowed to record anything.
No, I mean, they can record playing, basketball, normal things, stuff like that. But I mean, not for nefarious purposes, not for, like, if we're sitting in the living room having a conversation, I don't want somebody in the hallway videotaping and recording. I mean,
what are y'all doing that would?
We wouldn't be doing anything. You'd have to ask the defendant why.
I'm asking you.
Well, I'm telling you, there wouldn't be any reason. There's nothing to hide. I got nothing to hide at my house.
Well, then why would you worry about it being recorded?
They can record within.
That's not what you just said.
Well, they can record within reason, but they're not with nefarious purposes perpetrated by the father. I've witnessed it too much at my house whenever they've done that.
I don't understand what's going on that would be nefarious, but I'll leave it at that.
It's,
Anything else?
Not from this witness, Your Honor.
Yeah. Anything from you? Redirect?
Can you explain what you mean by nefarious?
the entire time, what the court fails to see is the entire time that she is on the phone with her children. I have witnessed the snickering in the background. I can see them on audio as
I had the cutest couple come in tonight that were celebrating their 29th anniversary at Big Dog. It was pretty cool. 33. I'm so proud of you. I'm not even 33 years old.
they are videotaped talking to each other, looking up, watching what they say, long silences. That's what I mean when I say, why else were they acting like that?
I disagree. I thought he was awesome.
And kids can't speak freely. They
Or are
can't
you
be.
concerned that that's going to happen in your house?
No, it's not going to happen in my house. And if it does, she can take care of it. She can watch it. We don't do stuff like that. What they want to do and what they want to talk about is their business. However, this isn't a spy agency. I'm tired of all these games. between these parties, it's ridiculous.
So you just don't want spying, is that?
Yes, I mean, it's ridiculous.
So they can use
The
their
kids can't be
devices.
themselves. They can't have a normal conversation with their mother because they're in the background giggling. You can hear them. It's ridiculous.
But if it's just you and Christy and the kids in the house,
They're free
I mean, we all giggled at what he just said there.
to do whatever they want within the bounds of what kids do.
okay, thank you.
They're not even my kids. I mean, they can be
Thank you,
free.
sir. You may step down. Anything else? Anything else from the
No, Your Honor.
petitioner? All right.
Your Honor, I
yes.
don't know if this is, I want the kids to be interviewed by the court, but I'm assuming that would be done at the end of the hearing?
Well, that'll be done at some point in time.
Yes,
This is a temporary hearing.
yes.
For a modification to occur at a temporary hearing, there has to be some exigent circumstances. It can't just be, this is not a final hearing. It has to be some exigent circumstances, some emergency, some reason that the children should not stay where they are pending the discovery and the final outcome of the case. There's nothing presented here today rises anywhere near to that level. I mean, the fact that the allegation is basically that he's denying her visitation, and therefore the custody ought to be changed. That would barely, that's an action for contempt. They could arguably, if it got bad enough, be a reason for modification, and we stressed that on occasion, that denial of visitation can rise to the level of a modification. And you need to understand that, Mr. Lee, that if one parent can't let the children see the other parent, then sometimes we have to modify custody so that it can happen. But that won't happen in a temporary hearing. I'm not going to take these children out of the school that they're in a temporary hearing and then come back 3 or 4 months later for a final hearing and have to move them back over to the school that they're in now. That's why the law is written the way it is, that a temporary hearing it only justifies moving children if there's some exigent circumstances. It really needs to be done immediately. And I don't see anything in this case so far, any evidence here that indicates that on a temporary basis.
Well, Your Honor, the evidence clearly indicates that visitation is being withheld, so I would ask for some kind of modification, at least with visitation, if we're not going to address the custody.
You don't need a modification. You just need enforcement.
Yes.
Now, we need to address that issue. We're not here on the contempt. We ought to be here on the contempt, but we're not. But unless he's got some rock solid evidence that she's violating the terms of the order with regard to taking the children to her home where Mr. Grant is as compared to visiting where they're supposed to be visiting, then he's got to allow the visitation. Bottom line. Now, if you're taking them to where Mr. Grant is, then that's a clear problem, and then he wouldn't be entitled to withhold visitation because he can't modify the visitation on his own. He's got to have a court order to do that, but he doesn't have that. But if he doesn't allow the visitation, then you bring a contempt, and I'll hold him in contempt if he doesn't allow the visitation as provided for in the order. Likewise, you've got to pay the child support as provided for.
This is Judge Reese. You only see him here. I'm sorry. You're not going to see him anywhere else. You gotta watch him here.
In the order, and you got to obey the order with regard to where the children go and the children being around Mr. Grant and so forth.
Your Honor, there was testimony that the majority of the time she was not at Mr. Grant's house.
But
She would take the children to Wilmington Island in Chatham
well, you said
County.
majority of the time.
Yes.
That scares me.
No,
That scares me.
No, and I believe she explained this, but if she didn't, I can recall her to the stand. But she said that.
So like, she just goes home sometimes? You guys just don't like live together constantly? That doesn't sound too bad, actually.
There was a couple of times where she took the children to her house, but Will was sent away from the house, so he wasn't even there, and he took the dog with him.
I heard that. But that's a matter of evidence, and it's going to be a matter of some proof.
Your Honor,
So on a temporary basis, there's nothing here.
Your Honor, we did file a motion to suspend the visitation. I don't know if the court would want to inquire of the children as to whether or not they've been around Mr. Grant and whether or not she's
I talked briefly
consumed
with the children. Are
alcohol
they
in
out front?
excess.
Can you bring them to chambers? Yeah.
I never thought that was an option.
He's got good sense.
I don't know if nothing's going to happen. Hold on. Hold on. I'd burn it.
Here's your copy of the previous order. I don't need to keep a copy of that.
I'd sew all your sleeves together.
Did y'all ever find the paperwork on Ms. Ellis's case?
No, I would sew the clothes a little bit tighter every single time. Oh yeah, and then I'd burn it. Only the kids and the judge. That's it. Sometimes the parents get to go in, but it's rare. And these kids are older. So it'll just be the kids and the judge.
Yes, ma'am.
I thought burning it is pretty much aggressive, not passive aggressive. Oh, the
This is
sewing.
your Mr. Hart's
No.
case.
The sewing is just me giggling because that would just make me so happy. Oh my gosh, this shirt used to fit. It don't fit no more.
Second page should be on the signature. Carl, second page is on the signature for delivery.
So maybe.
That Carly there that keeps sending me.
So normally judges don't really disclose what the kids say, but you can sort of tell by some of the things that they say because he doesn't want to get the kids in trouble.
Stuff and emails and orders and things.
I could screw up the zippers.
It's good
I
to
can fix
see you
them,
in
but
person.
oh yes, I could. If your pants don't fit no more, your pants don't fit no more.
All right.
Now, let me go get Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Talking with Rosie about that, the other situation.
Okay.
I would put a very loose stitch right in the ass of your pants so you can get them on with no problem. But 10 minutes later, not sure. You got all the women in chat thinking right now.
Just hold this so you can stay with me. Okay. All right. At this point, I'm going to just leave things as they are after my conversation with the children. And I'm going to leave things as they are and hope for the best. They have committed to me that they will let me know through you if there's any violations. And I'm going to believe that they'll do that. So we're going to let the visitation continue as it is. The children want to go see their mother. They want to continue to visit with their mother. The rules are going to remain in place. You are in denial. Mr. Grant clearly has an anger problem. Clearly, unequivocally. He has an anger problem. It needs to be addressed. If you want to address it, you want to address it, then it's going to continue to dictate what happens to your children. Been doing this 55 years. Seen a lot come and go. And it doesn't take an expert to figure that out in just a few minutes. Anyway, no modification on a temporary basis because it doesn't reach the level of the modifying on a temporary basis. So
You need a temporary order, Your Honor?
somebody, yeah, I guess. So you have somebody prepare a temporary order just saying that things remain as they are.
I will prepare that.
All right. And I'll get the visitation worked out, make it happen. Follow the rules, follow them very carefully, very closely.
But that goes for both parties, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Never mind, I'm
absolutely. And as I tell criminal defendants sometimes who I put on probation, the night has 1,000 eyes, and 1,000 eyes can't help but see. Some of y'all might remember that old song. But if you're violating the rules, somebody's going to see it, somebody's going to report it. And it may be a private investigator watching, you never know. So, yeah, I'm just saying, just be careful. Yeah. All right, thank y'all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I am confused. I didn't cut the end off. So we have plenty of time for Judge Fleischer. I edited badly, guys. So it was 2 hours, but he got up and he left and he spoke to the kids. And that made it, if I would have left that in, it made it 2 hours. And then I cut that out and I forgot to cut the end off. Oh, we saw that. Oh, I had it ready. Oh, I just closed it. I had it ready for her. Can somebody tell me? Okay. North, 42 degrees or 42 degrees north, right? 51 degrees north, okay? Which is higher? Is 51 higher? Because I'm guessing they go, is it from the equator up or is it down? Which is higher? Which is more north? 42 degrees north or 51 degrees north? Thank you. I just needed to know. I just closed Judge Fleischer, so I'm getting it back. You really think that guy has an anger problem? Hi, Judge.
So you can add these in any applications in the future, and you can fill in blanks, and it's much faster. I'm all for seeing.
Put your hands out of your pocket.
Get your hands out of your pocket.
You are Noe Delgado.
Yes, correct.
Mr. Delgado, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to
Not in a billion, trillion, gazillion years would I do that live. You don't have enough money in all of your bank accounts to make me do that live.
to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Officers were dispatched to a major crash in Harris County, Texas, where the defendant had rear-ended another vehicle. Upon contact, officers observed a strong odor of alcoholic beverage and poor balance. The defendant admitted to taking 4 shots at a nearby bar. SFSTs were conducted, 6 out of 8 walk and turn, 2 out of 4 one-leg stand. The defendant was unable to complete HGN due to not following directions. DICs were read and blood was consented to. During search of the defendant's person at JPC, officers located 0.5 grams of cocaine in the defendant's pants pocket. So he's also been charged with PCS and felony. He has no criminal history and an eligible license, Judge.
So no prior DWIs, huh?
No, Judge.
Mr. Delgado, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm telling you now, the dope stops now. I will give you the opportunity to try to stop it on yourself. If you're unable to do it, we're going to do it my way, and I promise you're not going to like the way that I do it. So if you have any demons, you better battle those demons, because I'm telling you now, I will test you like crazy. And if I find that you continue to use, you will stay with me. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Do you have valid liability insurance in your name?
Yes.
You sure? I'd like to send him for a drug test. I want to know what, if anything, he's going to test positive for. I'm going to send you for a drug test.
I already missed the angry boyfriend. I want to hear more. I want to see more videos of him.
You must come right back, and when you come back, we'll have you wait for your lawyer. If you fail the test, if you fail to come back, then I'm going to revoke your bond. Do you understand? I want to make sure that you're not using. Like I said, no alcohol, no drugs. I'm going to randomly test you. You have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance, but you must stay in contact with Mr. Atian. He will tell you when you have to come back to court. Right now, I just want to make sure you're not using. Do you understand? All right. For now, I'm going to have you sign a reset with Ramona. We'll have you get with Fleischer your bond conditions, and then we'll have you come back in about 20 minutes. All right? Well,
Do you want me to file those, Judge?
no. So anytime someone is monitored by pretrial, we'll have with Fleischer.
Whenever you're ready, Your Honor. Ms.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Egan, on page 7 is our next one.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Egan. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
On November 28, 2024, officers conducted a traffic stop on defendant's motor vehicle.
Okay. I have heard a ton of explanation, you know what I mean, for that. Simple auto. That is the best one I've ever heard. Ever, ever, ever. You have to stay around more often.
After observing it pass him at a high rate of speed, make multiple lane changes, and swerve in and around cars in a reckless manner. Officer accelerated to catch up to defendant and reached speeds of over 100 miles per hour to keep up with him. The defendant traveled about 7 miles in about 4 minutes. Upon contact with the defendant, officer observed glassy eyes, a strong odor of alcoholic beverage, an open beer can in the center console, a 6-pack of beer in the passenger seat, and spilled beer that was still cool to the touch in the front passenger seat.
Drinking while driving?
Yes, Judge. The defendant admitted to drinking. SFSTs were conducted, 4 out of 6 HGN, 6 out of 8 walk and turn, 2 out of 4 one-leg stand. DICs were read and consented to. The defendant blew a .147 and a .139. He does have an eligible driver's license, Judge.
Can you look to CPS and you prior DWIs, please?
He had a DWI out of Travis County, but he was released without prosecution, Judge. So it's just a charge.
2 things. I am ordering you not to drive at all. You will be signing an affidavit with me today, Mr. Egan. This is a promise that you're going to make to me that you're not going to drive. I don't give a rat's behind what your excuse is. I don't care if Mother Teresa needs to ride to church. If I find that you drive, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive because it's an offense in and of itself. Do you understand? I'm also now ordering you to obtain a handheld interlock device that you're going to take with you everywhere you go to prove to me that you're not consuming alcohol. At the next time, if I find that you violate conditions, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand me? We are sending a court order to DPS in Austin so that every single officer in this state will know that if you are pulled over, any car that you're to drive must have an ignition interlock on it. I'm ordering you not to drive at all. But if at some point you do, by some miracle, get the ability to drive, I'm ordering you not to drive any vehicle that doesn't have an ignition interlock on it. So if you're caught driving a vehicle and it doesn't have an interlock on it, you will go to jail. Do you understand? And then if I find that you drive, we can have a contempt hearing. So just don't drive and don't use alcohol. Do you understand? Or illegal drugs. We are going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I will have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. I'll get you to Ramona Senate.
No, sir. You're still talking. Sorry.
I will get you to Ramona sign a reset. You will then get with Fleischer for your bond conditions, and after that, we'll let you go. Don't pick up any new cases. Behave yourself, because I'm going to tell you now, Mr. Egan, I will do everything in my power to protect my streets. And if that means locking you up and putting your bond in a sky-high amount, I'll do it in a heartbeat. Do you understand? All right.
There's some Stuck Lake Chuck merch. If you want different sayings, let me know. I can put them up.
Our next one is gonna be Ms. Sanchez on 21. Yes.
Good morning, Ms. Sanchez. Ma'am, you were charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
We're in a dating relationship for 5 years. On November 27th, 2024, officers were dispatched to a residential home in Harris County, Texas, in reference to a family assault in progress. The officer contacted the complainant on the phone and could hear him screaming and telling the defendant to get off of him and to stop pulling his hair. Officer asked the complainant if the defendant was still assaulting him, and the complainant responded yes. Defendant fled the scene on foot when officers arrived. The complainant gave the direction of travel to the officer. The complainant stated he and the defendant had been putting up Christmas lights after drinking, and an argument ensued. The complainant said the defendant began attacking him by pulling his hair, causing pain. The complainant fell to the ground and the defendant proceeded with kicking him. The complainant said that when the defendant drinks, she gets aggressive and wants to fight. Officers returned the defendant to scene and she would not cooperate, was yelling obscenities at the complainant, and was acting belligerent.
Okay. Ms. Sanchez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I will randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you don't have anyone to pony up $5,000 to $10,000 on a bond for you, guess what happens? You'll be stuck like Chuck until this case is over with. And I'm going to tell you, it takes damn near 9 months just to get a 911 tape. Behave while you're out there in the free world, or I will take the free world away from you.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
I got to put more sayings up there on the
Tell me, what do you do for a
merch,
living?
don't I?
I'm a recruiter, skilled trades, and then operations coordinator.
You have an income.
Not at this moment. I recently got laid off in October.
Okay. I have an application already on file. Did you want to, Do you want a court-appointed lawyer, ma'am?
At this time, yes, sir,
Okay.
if you could, please.
We need to talk about the complaining witness.
So Conrad has spoken to the complainant and he would like no contact as well as a residency restriction, Judge.
You heard that, Ms. Sanchez. There's a protective order that has been issued in this case. The protective order was issued on November 28th. I would suggest you get to know it. If you violate the protective order, they can and will file a violation of a protective order against you, and that is the capital murder of misdemeanors. It's one of the worst cases you could pick up over here.
Oh,
Do
yes,
you
sir.
understand? So
Yes, sir.
don't have any contact with them,
That's not a problem, sir.
in possession of weapons, and don't go back to the house listed on the protective order, which is at the Woodlands West.
That is not a problem, sir.
Okay, so I'm gonna have you sign a receipt with Ramona. We'll have you get with Fleischer for your bond conditions, then we'll have you take a seat in the jury box while we
Yes,
find your lawyer. Please. Do you mind filing no contact and no weapons, please?
Yes, Judge. And did you also say no alcohol or?
Oh, you know, what? Don't worry about it, because since she's monitored, yeah, don't even worry about it. Right.
All right, Sir Tucci on page 22. SER. Did I pronounce it?
Find it?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Give me a second, let me see.
Connor.
Morning, sir.
Judge, does Ms. Sanchez have any documents to sign?
With me.
Yeah, she will with Felicia. She's getting monitored.
Okay.
Um,
My one friend, her ex was in the Coast Guard. So she got comp tickets to see Taylor Swift. So I got to see Taylor Swift and for free. And Camille Cabello opened for her. And no matter how beautiful you think that woman is, she is so beautiful. It was so hard to focus. Taylor Smith was pretty good too.
All right, so you are Justin Sertucci.
Sir.
Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will
Taylor
be used
Swift,
against you.
she's a singer.
You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On November 27th of 2024, officers were dispatched to a person down call at the intersection of Bagby and Elgin Street. Officers observed the defendant's motor vehicle stopped in a moving lane of traffic. HFD advised that when they arrived earlier, the defendant was in the driver's seat behind the wheel with his foot on the brake and the vehicle in drive. HFD EMT further advised that when the driver woke up, he admitted to having been drinking. Officers observed a strong odor of alcoholic beverage and glassy eyes on the defendant.
I'm sorry, guys. I know this site really sucks. I'm going to try to show you right now how to navigate it. So when you get to Redbubble, if you go to mine, there's 6 designs. You have to find the design you want. All right, there's 6. I can put any more up if you want, but then you got to go to these tiny itsy bitsy little words right here, and you got to click that. So Victoria's Bodyguard. If you click the tiny itsy bitsy little words right there, then that's when it'll take you to the site where you can buy whatever you want to buy. There's all kinds of stuff. I do not suggest the leggings. Here's the leggings. I'm going to turn it. See my logo? See it? Oh my gosh. So, yeah. That's, you got to find these, the tiny little shop all products site. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. But again, in a little bit, as soon as he's ready, I have a 16-year-old who's for his school, for something for his one of the things he's doing in school, he's starting a merch business on his own. Well, with his mom. She's a single mom. So he's going to be doing custom merch. He's putting stuff together. He's putting like a site together right now. So 100% of whatever you buy from him goes to him. Nothing goes to me. So That's coming real soon. And then you can put anything you want on there. You just tell them what you want.
SFSTs were conducted, 6 out of 6 HGN, 8 out of 8 walk and turn, 4 out of 4 one-leg stand. On the way to JPC, the defendant threw up in the patrol vehicle. DICs were read but refused, and a search warrant for blood was signed and executed. He does have an eligible driver's license, Judge. He doesn't have any prior DWIs, but he has juvenile history.
Okay. Mr. Certucci, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have valid liability insurance in your name? You have car insurance. All right, I am ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using alcohol or illegal drugs, your bond will be revoked. You will go to jail. No more PR bonds. You understand?
Sir.
I see that you have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, we will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court, but you must stay in touch with Mr. Saman. He'll tell you when you have to come back to court. For now, I'll have you sign a receipt with Ramona. We'll have you get with your bond conditions with Fleischer, and then we'll have you take a seat in the back. Wait for Mr. Omar. All right, please.
So do I. Just don't have time. I just don't have time.
One last one, Your Honor. I skipped her by accident, page 3,
It's okay.
Blackburn.
Where is that? Baytown. What state?
Is it Chaston?
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 Yes,
Ms.
sir.
Blackburn, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're also charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. On the gun case, you're facing up to a year and or a $4,000 fine. And on the DWI, you're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you, ma'am. Okay.
Officers were conducting an unrelated fatal accident investigation when they observed the defendant's vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed toward the blocked portion of the roadway. Officers saw the defendant disregard a barricade and were able to successfully get the defendant to stop by shouting verbal commands and utilizing their flashlights. Upon contact, officers observed a moderate odor of alcoholic beverage, glassy, watery, bloodshot eyes, and slurred speech.
The kid, he's actually going to make the merch, not design it, not do any designs. Unless you tell him I want this in blue and I want these words on it. He's not going to design merch.
The defendant admitted to having 3 drinks at a nearby bar and was temporarily detained. SFSTs were conducted, 4 out of 6 HGN, 4 out of 8 walk and turn, and 2 out of 4 one-leg stand. DICs were read and breath was consented to. The defendant blew a .086 and a .084. During search of the vehicle, officers located a handgun within the center console. She doesn't have any priors, Judge, and she does have an eligible driver's license.
All right, Ms. Blackburn, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using alcohol or drugs, you will go to jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. You understand?
Yes.
Do you have a lawyer, ma'am? Tell me, what do you do for a living?
Stay at her mom since I was 21. I just part-time TV 2 days a week.
Okay, what, so you're married?
Married.
What does your husband do for a living?
We're in real estate.
Okay, do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
No. I'll have to speak to him. He can try.
So what we'll do is I can give you time.
Okay.
You know, what we normally do is we reset cases for 30 days to give you time to go hire a lawyer. But this is a DWI and there's a lot of timing requirements with the DWI. So don't just sit and wait a month or 2 months because you're only hurting yourself. You need to get on it. You need to get on it quick. Okay, if you have any issues, you can come back and tell us and then we can go from there. Okay, for now.
I'm not trying to be heartless. I'm really not. They're people too, but a CEO of healthcare.
Now I'll have you go to Ramona sign a reset. We'll get with Felicia your bond conditions, and after that you'll be free to go. All right. Omar, There's your gentleman. Sir Tucci,
Yes.
have you heard probable cause?
I did not.
You want to hear it again?
No. We can wait probably lost. Not worry about. I've read it.
Okay. All I did was just no drugs, no alcohol, and random UAs, and then just waived appearance. Just normal for a DWI.
Thank you, Judge.
For sure.
Call you up momentarily. And I did already text for Reese.
We need to do, okay. Tujaques, come up. Can you see whether he's given a PR bond? I know, he just bonded out, that's why. But we need to do conditions, that's why. But I want to know whether he bonded out or they give him a PR bond, because I don't see it. It's not. It was, okay.
I do not miss Twitter. I do not.
Mr. Tujaques, I hope that you understand that we mean business. I will protect every person of Harris County. I don't care who you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care if you're a small farm animal. I will protect every single person. You don't put your hands on anyone. And if you pick up a third case, I'm going to do la cucaracha on all of your bonds. Do you understand? I'm going to go absolutely bonkers on your bonds if you pick up a third case. You are not to have any contact with any of the complaining witnesses in these cases. You're not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs. You're not to be in possession of any weapons. Anything else, State?
You said no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons. We would also say no contact with the complainant,
Yeah.
Judge.
I
And
think that
maybe
goes
a
without
residency
saying.
restriction.
So we did a
He lives there.
we removed the residential restriction yesterday, the residential restriction, because council said that he lived at that address, but I need to make sure now that he's out that she's not living there. Do you have? Oh, she's in custody. That's right. That's right. She's in jail. Okay, so no, I'm gonna leave it as, so the complaining witness is in custody here with us because she has an open PCS out of Travis County. And I don't, do you still have the cost number on that
Nope,
one?
I stopped
Is there a bond?
cold turkey that day and I never went back.
It's bond denied. Okay, so it's bond denied, so she can't get out until that 10th day hits, at which point we will set a bond and then go from there. So you know now what's expected of you. Don't mess up. Do you understand? You must also remain in contact with your lawyers. If your lawyers tell me that they can't get a hold of you because you're playing games and you're not responding to phone calls, text messages, likewise, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. I'm not asking for much. I just want I want my county protected. That's it. And I'm going to do it at all costs. Do you understand? Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Got it. So he's going to be monitored through pretrial, just for no alcohol, no dope. Yeah.
It's true. Facebook is like
Yeah,
3
it's
days
okay.
behind.
Yeah, but he's got to sign for bond condition before he leaves.
You need someone from the state.
State, please. You are Carlos Gomez.
Yes, sir.
Shh. Mr. Gomez, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 180 days in jail to be probated for 12 months.
But that's my nickname.
Is this
Never
a
mind.
second being reduced to a first? Is it a true first?
No, Judge, so he had a prior DWI that was dismissed via our PTI program.
Okay, so repeat offender then. Okay, the reason I'm asking you is because, or the reason I'm asking is because we have different types of education programs. You already did one education program and that didn't take. So now we have to do the repeat offender DWI education class in hopes that that one works because you pick up another one. From now on, you will be facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. No more proverbial slaps on the wrist. Do you understand? You give up a lot of rights by entering this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, this will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. What do you think an officer is going to do if they come up to your car, they see DWI dismissed, DWI conviction, and then they smell alcohol? What do you think they're going to do? Sorry?
They'd take them.
I would venture to guess, no questions asked. Don't matter if it's just even the faintest smell of alcohol, faintest smell of weed, anything funky in your car, they smell it, they're going to take you down because all they look at, your priors and what you smell like. That 2 and 2 together, that's all they look at. Do you understand? So I would never, even if you had just a sip of alcohol, I wouldn't get into a car because it's a huge and it's a humongous financial gamble. Do you understand? As part of this agreement, you will do, like I said, the repeat offender DWI education class, 1 victim impact panel. You will also do a TRAS, which is an evaluation to see what other conditions you may need. If they assess other conditions like intensive outpatient treatment, supportive outpatient treatment program, you must fulfill those additional things. Substance abuse treatment, no drugs, no alcohol, random urinalysis, no breath test refusal. So if you're pulled over in a car and an officer asks you to submit to a breath sample, you must take it. Guardian interlock, 23 hours of community service, and a $100 one-time donation to the Houston Food Bank. This is how you understand the agreement.
Sure.
If you fail to live up to your side of the bargain, you test positive for alcohol, don't do your classes on time. If you pick up a new case, if you drive on a suspended license, we will issue a warrant for your arrest. I'm going to put you in jail. I'm going to roll you back out here in orange. We're going to discuss whether you violated your probation. If you did, you're looking at 180 days in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Still want to do this? Okay, how do you plead to the offense? Guilty or not guilty?
Okay.
I'll find you guilty. I will follow the agreement, sentence you to it. Max, about the fines and fees and surcharges, what do you do for a living, sir?
Driving.
What kind of money do you make? You have a CDL?
Yes, I got CDL. Right.
You realize that the CDL is now going to be suspended. You realize that a second DWI conviction, you'll lose that CDL for life. Do you realize that? Yeah, a second DWI conviction, you'll lose the CDL for a life. When you are a CDL driver, you are held to a higher standard. The entire world is at a 0.08 legally, right? For what they consider intoxication. When you have a CDL, it's even lower. It's at a 0.04 or 0.05. You are held to a higher standard because you were supposed to be better, do better because of that CDL. You will be required to pay the supervisory fees. And I want you to understand that if you don't pay it, you will go to jail. Every $100 that you owe is one day in jail that you will do. So we have to get through to you somehow. I hope that this is it. But you got to understand that on our streets, every single day, someone dies from a DWI. And it's truly a pathetic and sad thing. That's what we are trying to prevent. And I hope that this is the last time. Do you understand? Because if not, we have a jail just waiting for you. All right. Good luck, sir. All right. So 3,000 and then whatever the court costs are, and then 2 years.
All right, guys. I'm going to show you something special before we end. I don't know how long it is. I don't know how long it is. We'll figure it out. This is what we're watching. American Courts. Bill's stream from a couple hours ago. Are you ready?
Hey, Bill, Dina, Kathy. What's up, guys? Where's our judge?
Oh, I thought Stephen was going to stop too. Bill, you got some good stuff. I missed that. I didn't see that. I actually accidentally fell asleep for a bit during Judge Fleischer's stream yesterday. Poor mods had to just suffer through. I came back though. It was just a little nap. All right. Don't send it to the judge. I love Louise. I love Louise so much. Thank you, Fozzie, for getting me that. Thank you for making sure I played that. I appreciate it. All right, guys, I am not going to do OJ today because I want to make sure I make it to Judge Fleischer's court. I have to. I don't have to, but yes, you're very new. You're 30-some. We know. Don't worry. Don't worry. You're gonna get everybody soon. You're gonna say, "Hey, Louise. Hey, Gooch." Thanks for letting me play the whole thing today, because I really liked it. I have a great members only video coming. I just need a day I can do it. Can't do it on Monday, so I can't because I have Judge Fleischer's court, and then Bill. I think I'm going to be on Bill's stream. I hope that wasn't a secret, Bill, because I didn't know if it was a secret because you didn't say. But we have to do it again because we messed up so bad last week. But yeah, you will. No, you can just watch my old stuff and you'll see Lucifer. Just go back and binge all of my old stuff and you'll see Lucifer. Simple. Thank you so much again for that great explanation. It was awesome. It was really good. All right, guys. Have a good day. See you soon. Bye.
Got these lights that goes digital dreams through the screen. Her blue eyes gleam. Wicked humor, sharp as a knife. Her stream sparks electric light. Late night when the world sleeps, she's the friend that always keeps. Giggles roll like thunder loud. She stands out in any crowd. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor dark and twisted sharp. In a way, there's no alarm. Freedom tales late into the night. Her laughter fills even when my world turns gray. With a giggle, she lights the way. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom, eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor dark and twisted song. In a way, there's no